Hello, my name is Barry Wagner. I'm Vice President of Ezra International, an organization that God has brought into being for the purpose of helping the Jewish people from the former Soviet Union realize their God-appointed destiny by immigrating to Israel. You know, God spoke through the prophets 2,700 years ago that the day would come when He would gather the seed of Abraham, the chosen people of God, from all the nations where He had scattered them and bring them back into their own land. Today you see behind me the beautiful Mediterranean Sea. I'm in the city of Ashkelon, just south of Tel Aviv, where many of these immigrants have resettled in fulfillment of these Bible prophecies. You know, Jeremiah wrote of this in chapter 16, beginning with verse 14. He said, "However, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when men will no longer say, as surely as the Lord lives, who brought the Israelites up out of Egypt, but they will say of the Lord, as surely as the Lord lives, who brought the Israelites up out of the land of the north," that's Russia, "and out of all the countries where He had banished them. For I will restore them to their own land." Today we've come to a very remote village here in Ukraine. And I've got to tell you, my heart is just saddened because of what we have walked into. This is a family of 14 people, 7 of which lives in this 2-room house. Reza is the mother. She has 9 children. She has 3 grandchildren and a daughter-in-law. She was just sharing with me, and we'll meet her in just a few moments and see many of the family members who live in this home. But she's sharing with me just a few moments ago that her total income is about $271 a month. And that may not sound too bad, but when you divide that by 14, can you imagine each individual trying to exist on about $19 a month? My friends, you and I will spend that much on an average meal in an average restaurant in America. And we've come into this 2-room house, no facilities. They do have electricity, no running water, no toilet. Four people sleep in this little room here. You see some of the beds that they just recently got out of this morning. The room next to us, 4 more people sleep in that room. And this is how they've been existing. And one of the things that Reza said to me when we came, she said, "I can't say that we're really poor because we're not." Now, you and I can't comprehend that. We have no idea what would motivate her to say such a thing. And the good news is that the day is coming very soon now, probably within the next 2 or 3 months, that this precious Jewish family, all 14 of them are about to make their aliyah. They are about to go to Israel, where they will live their lives out with hope, with some kind of personal pride in who they are. They will live in Israel with other family members who are already there. The only solution for this family is for them to leave this place and go to the land of their inheritance, the land of Israel.
Without Ezra's help, we would have to stay in Russia for 10 more years. Ezra helped us to get our foreign passport, all the permissions, and pay our utility debt. We had large debt. Our wages would never pay all of our debt, and the government would not let us out of the country if we did not pay our debts. So they helped us in all these things. We thank them greatly for everything. May God give them His best.
You just saw a film clip from this family's home as they were preparing to leave Donetsk, Ukraine, and that was just a year ago this month. Their new life that they are experiencing here in Israel has only been possible through the financial giving of people just like you that are watching this right now. And we want to thank you, those of you who have given to Ezra International to help make this, this new life for this beautiful family a reality. How can we thank you enough? And Oksana and her family, they send their love and greetings to you as well. Now, if you haven't become a monthly contributor or even a one-time giver to the ministry of Ezra International, may I encourage you to pick up your phone and dial that toll-free number on the bottom of the screen. Let's help bring hope and encouragement and a new life to wonderful families just like this. See, I will bring them from the land of the north and gather them from the ends of the earth. Among them will be the blind and the lame, expectant mothers and women in labor. A great throng will return. And we're so glad that many of you are already a part of assisting people and family just like this from all over the former Soviet Union. Today, Ezra International is laboring in 10 former Soviet Union countries as well as Argentina, helping over 27,000 Jewish people make their aliyah to Israel. You know, the Bible says in Genesis chapter 12 and verse 3 that if we bless Israel, if we'll bless the Jewish people, he will bless us. You know, before the walls of communism came down in 1989, it was walls that held them into these former Soviet Union countries, and now it's poverty. These people are having a real difficulty just putting food on their table. And for them to think of paying $45 for a passport for each family member, plus the travel expenses to the Israeli embassy and the consulate for their consultations, plus the cost of the visa and overnight lodging for their consultation, all those things, it would literally be impossible. Vitaly told me when we spoke earlier that without the help of Ezra International, it would have been literally impossible for them to be making their immigration to Israel. They would be stuck here. They would continue to be in exile. You know, in the Bible, in Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 1, it says, God is speaking. He says, comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and proclaim to her that her time of exile is completed. The Jewish people have been in exile for 2,000 years, and now in fulfillment of Bible prophecy, they are going home. And since that wall came down in 1989, over 1,300,000 Jewish people of the former Soviet Union are now at home in Israel. This is what the sovereign Lord says. See, I will beckon to the Gentiles. I will lift up my banner to the peoples. They will bring your sons in their arms and carry your daughters on their shoulders. We're now visiting in the home of Leonid Drepkin. I had the opportunity of meeting my dear brother 2 days ago as we came into his flat for the very first time. In fact, it was about 2 years ago that Ezra International was instrumental in helping his son Vitaly return to Israel in fulfillment of Bible prophecy. And now Vitaly is serving in the Israeli army. God is doing a miraculous thing the world over by putting such a love in the heart of millions of Gentiles for the Jewish people that they're experiencing God's love, unconditional love, for the very first time. We sat right here on this sofa 2 days ago, and as I talked to him about the possibility of him going to Israel, he began to cry. He began to weep bitterly because he just seems to be without any kind of hope of ever making that become reality. But I reassured him that if his faith isn't strong enough at this point, I will have faith for him. I will believe with all my heart that God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel, will work a miracle. And that miracle, I believe, will happen through Ezra International as we make the funds available to purchase his passport, to purchase his visa, to pay for his expenses to the Israeli embassy for consultation, and all of those things, making it possible for him to be reunited with his son. And my friends, you can be so instrumental. You know, I always talk about it's one thing to see Bible prophecy being fulfilled, but it is something else to be a part of it. God's not through with you. In fact, your life is just beginning. Brand new life is waiting for you in Israel. And these wonderful people who are watching by television are going to make it possible. They're going to help you. No matter where I go in the world, it seems that I'm asked a very important question. And that question is simply this: Barry, why is Ezra International doing the work that they're doing among the Jewish people? Why are they working so tirelessly to bring so many Jews from the former Soviet Union and Argentina home to the land of Israel? Well, there's two answers to that question. The first one is simply this, that God has ordained it. God said 2,700 years ago through all the prophets that the day would come when he would gather his children from all the nations and return them to their own land. The second question is one that is a little more recent, and that's simply this, that anti-Semitism is once again sweeping across Europe. And that spirit of anti-Semitism is alive and well. Even right here in the city of Kiev, Ukraine, where I'm standing at a spot that is known world over. It's called Babi Yar. And it's on this location that in 1941, nearly 250,000 Jews were massacred. And my friends, people say, well, that can never happen again. And my warning to them is, yes, it can. Because I believe very strongly that the only thing we learn from history is that we don't learn from history. And God said in Ezekiel chapter 39 and verse 27, he said, when I have brought them back from the nations and have gathered them from the countries of their enemies, I will show myself holy through them in the sight of many nations. Then they will know that I am the Lord their God. For though I sent them into exile among the nations, I will gather them to their own land, not leaving any behind. I love that last phrase, not leaving any behind. That's the heart of Abba. That's Father's heart, that not one of his children will be left behind. And that's the heart of Ezra International. We are working in 10 former Soviet Union countries and Argentina to ensure that not one Jew will be left behind. And on behalf of those families that you've seen during this telecast, on behalf of those families that you have not seen, and the individuals that we're working with on a daily basis, please allow me to thank you and say Spasiba Большое in the Russian language. That's simply thank you very much for all that you're doing and all that we know you will do. Thank you, and God bless you.